So I recently had one of the members of my Brotherhood of Men Patreon group reach out to me to ask me a question about something he's dealing with in family court, which is something actually I hadn't heard being used in quite a while. And in a nutshell, what it came down to is what's known as the Tender Years Doctrine. So as he relayed to me, the mother is requesting that she not only get primary custody, but the majority of time with the children, who are about 1.5 and 3 years old, until the age of 7. Then after that, they'll revisit their parenting plan to give him more time with the children. This is straight out of the Tender Years Doctrine, something that was used in family courts in the 60s, 70s, and 80s, largely to eliminate fathers from the children's lives. So what is the Tender Years Doctrine? What it is this belief that young children, infants, toddlers, that type of thing, up till about age 7, should spend all of their overnights in one location. And that location should be mom's house. It was used to justify restricting the amount of time that a child had with their father, even though he was absolutely fit to be a parent. Now, back in the day, they claimed they had studies to support this, but the reality is there weren't many, and the ones that did exist, well, they were questionable at best. But this is how judges were trained for decades. And indeed, some still are and still believe in the Tender Years Doctrine. But the reality is it's not supported by the data, and it is not supported by many, if not most, scientific researchers. In fact, a definitive study called the Consensus Report was published a few years ago, and it showed definitively that children benefit by having as much time as they possibly can with both parents. In other words, the time is split as equally as can be reasonably done. In fact, the study was so thoroughly done to the point it was beyond repute that it created a huge backlash against it because it exposed the reality that the Tender Years Doctrine was nothing more than a myth created to eliminate fathers from their children's lives. And one of the lead authors of the study, Richard Warshak, talked about the efforts being made to suppress the study. He mentioned how they tried to prevent its publication. At a conference in 2017, he talked about how the journal editors were asked not to publish the names of the 110 scientists who supported the report, and how those who objected to it called the report divisive. And oh, by the way, most of the people that were looking to suppress the report just happened to be making a lot of money from high conflict divorces. Basically, the study came down to this conclusion: that sufficient evidence did not exist to support postponing the introduction of regular and frequent involvement, including overnights of both parents with babies and toddlers. The theoretical and practical considerations favoring overnights for most young children are more compelling than concerns that overnights might jeopardize children's development. That's directly from the report. Since that time, there was a bit of a shift in the paradigm in how the family courts viewed fathers, especially with regard to having them overnight when the children were younger. The bottom line is this: every reputable study has shown the children benefit most when both parents are equally involved and equally able to be involved as parents in their children's lives. It is what's truly in the best interest of the children.